It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Boston Celtics as they go up against the Washington Wizards. Well, for Washington, they'll be up for this game, facing the team that defeated them in the conference semis last season. This is one they've been waiting for. And we'll get to see Al Horford take to the court in this one. Horford, a player that we all love, but the last few seasons, his rebounding has taken a dip. Is that just how it goes for big men as they get deeper into their NBA careers, Shaq?
Yeah, Ernie, all big men deal with declining rebounding numbers as they get older. Father Time is undefeated, buddy.
Undefeated. But the burst really goes away when your knees go. And I don't care. Father Time must have some great knees because he's been around a long time.
Wait,
I just got a question before we go.
What?
Well, if Father Time is undefeated,
Yes.
who goes after Father Time?
All these players. All these players who have tried to play past their years,
Okay, I got it.
and they've lost.
But Father Time has to have
Father
a Father Time.
No?
He must get tired too.
No, I'm so totally confused.
Jeez, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Welcome to a special presentation of the NBA on Christmas Day here on 2K Sports. We want to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas. With Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. And we have a surprise guest, folks. Here he is, the four-time All-NBA First-Teamer, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA champion, which is probably most happy about, most proud of, Kevin Garnett. Thanks so much for joining us for the game.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Shout out to 2K. You know what it is, 2K? Right. OBF all day, you know? Yeah.
Now, you can't play 2K while we're doing 2K.
No, we can't play it right now, but I'm waiting. Shout to Shaq on this cover. Shout to my dog, Shaq. That's dope. That's what's up. I'm Gas Shaq is on there. Right. Love that. That's what's up. These deserves it, man. That's what's up.
We're live from Boston. It's the home of the Celtics. You look at Washington. They're hoping they can carry over some of that momentum from their undefeated homestand.
And guys, one of the approaches when you're starting a short road trip like this is guys want to come right out of the box with focus, game in hand, and not think about the next one. Get as many wins as you can on the road. It's so important.
So a look at the starters for the Wizards. A great scoring pair of wings. Beal the 2, Porter the 3. Morris and Gortat together down low. And it's Wall in at the point. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity. And that sends John Wall to the free throw line. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving. The Wizards shooting their first free throw of the game.
I love the attitude of this young man, John Wall. He plays with a real passion, and for his teammates, it's infectious. He makes them better, too.
And finished off by Horford.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Well, also a miscommunication on defense. No one rotates over. See ya.
Now, here's Tatum. After Gortat's miss, can't connect from 13 feet out. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that they
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? A little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was all fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc would rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, that's important.
Celtics have gone just 2 of 8 shooting so far, just 25%. And a wide open look for Irving from outside off the mark.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Good on the bucket.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Boston's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Down low, Porter with the steal. And again, Washington running the court in transition. Here's Wall. And that one's good. His second basket of 4, shooting 50%.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Down low. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Oh, that's just terrific patience from Irving. Outstanding at filling the D inside and literally forcing their hand.
And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
Man. You see me?
How do you like it?
You know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about preparing and who I'm going to guard, and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. It's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. We actually get some things done, but we have a great time, man.
You're a natural.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, man, the great, rest in peace to Craig, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing great job. Both free throws, good from Kyrie Irving.
Well, he's not making any mistakes up there today. Another solid trip to the line for him.
Here's Wall. Rebound, Boston. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
You're going to win a lot of games when you can shoot the 3-ball the way they did in that one.
Oh, yeah. Once they started hitting, it was like an avalanche, even as the defense extended farther and farther out.
And out of bounds as the Wizards gain possession. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for Washington.
And the 3-point shot was a huge part of their game plan. When it was falling, it made them very hard to defend. Opponents were stretched out all over the place.
Looking at Washington, they took the win in their last game out against Orlando. And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Wall with the steal. Jumps up, and the slam dunk by Wall.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, particularly on offense, where they've been completely in sync. Terrific first quarter.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. Now let's find out what head coach Brad Stevens had to say to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Kevin, they're going to keep it simple tonight. He wants to run everything through the low post. He told me, physically, we're the stronger team. We need to use that strength to our benefit. Back to you.
Thank you, David.
While we got a chance, let's look at some numbers for Irving. 9th in scoring and tremendous confidence and consistency at the foul line. He ranks among the top 15 in free throw percentage.
And you noted it. His points per game average is unreal right now. He's literally propping up the team's offense, scoring whenever they need him to. And good that time. Gortat's got 6.
And this is the tempo you love to watch. I mean, get out fast before the defense can get set.
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holla at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Free throw good. Porter.
The versatility of Porter is huge. I mean, he's an outstanding perimeter defender, in addition also to being a proven scorer.
And Porter drops them both. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG he has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does, sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. if you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fake and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
It's almost as if there's a lid on the hoop for him right now. He still hasn't gotten one to fall in the quarter.
Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
Celtics making a switch here. Smart's checked in. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting out IQs. Now we start putting a couple things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. Say, continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
The active defense making things very hard on him as he goes in for the layup.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every challenge?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Yep, it counts. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to accomplish something.
Go at it with gusto, right?
You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep that between us.
Okay. That one good for 2. 8 points for Kelly Oubre. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Tyronn Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my fam.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
Well, I love how they've done it. They've built this huge lead with points in the paint, dominating physically.
Here's Smart after the basket by Washington. Out to the right wing. Goes back up. And Horford lays it up and in. Horford's got 8.
Oh, you can't forget about Horford. I mean, carving out space inside for the putback.
Here's Mahimi. Banked in off the glass.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
We've got 33 seconds left to play in the first. Here's Rozier. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. To the inside. And it's good for 2.
And I like the fact that Tatum has not abandoned the inside game. Solid at finding space around the rim to score. Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And it's happening at both ends, trying to end this thing before it begins.
And Horford wide open. He shoots. A three-pointer off the mark. Picked his pocket. John Wall getting it done for Washington. He comes away with 11 points in the quarter and is showing no signs of fatigue. We'll return shortly. We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates.
We expect so much out of each other every single night, and the team is going to go as hard as we go, as well as the other pieces that we have on the team. But we have to control it from a standpoint that we have to play off each other.
Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media, but also, perhaps the most demanding of all, are the expectations they've got for each other.
Oh, yeah. They're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from one another. And I got to tell you, it's fun to watch.
And we're ready to get rolling once again here for our Christmas Day matchup. And quite a position here for the Wizards to be in. What do you guys think?
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you allow them to speed up the tempo, there's a good chance you're going to fall behind.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the court for the Celtics, they've got Smart, Yabusele out there with Tatum, and it's Rozier in at the guard position. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Oh, that's why you see them flexing a little bit. They're feeling good about how they've dominated.
Here's Rozier. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Round kicks to Rozier. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Smart, wide open. He fires. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And they've only got a slight edge on the boards, but it just feels a lot bigger.
And, Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil is super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of.
That is not possible. What we just is that possible?
I think it is, Greg. Not probable, but possible, like you said. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Kobe for a year or got to, team, at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance to. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
Yeah, it was.
Going to the Lakers?
Well, my connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. Yeah. And it's what it was. But,
and you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything?
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even going to front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game. I'm loving the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Oh, this is ugly. No question about it. And you wonder if these matchups aren't favoring them right now.
Boston making a switch here. Irving's checked in. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, 82 games is how you got to come through it. Listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
Listen, it is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
And he knocks down the first one.
And Brown is just an exceptional player. Really love whenever he shows off his athletic ability.
And Brown drops them both. And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something and have something feel left out. We all was achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, it was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev.
Appetite.
And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not. Do not age.
Man, listen. I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man.
Thank you.
Man, what's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously.
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
Man, you're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best.
You
understand, my dude? Straight up.
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you?
Man,
especially when you were younger.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. Hey, there's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you playing basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
And so Irving nails both of them.
And guys, this is the way to stay in the game. They're doing a masterful job from the line. Perfect this quarter.
Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed at which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up here together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic, because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, if you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right.
You better be careful around Wall. He loves hounding the opposition. He's excellent at coming up with steals.
Boston's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Kobe go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a one, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing speeding them up.
Special players.
Special players, bro. I get a front row seat of seeing that.
I know it.
Ray Allen, the same thing. He had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
And that one falls for John Wall. Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big three, it's the big four. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look,
you were the original big three.
It seems like it, eh? You know, right.
You were the original big three.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't
It
even know that we were
there's
doing
no
that.
doubt.
Right, because
There's no
LeBron
doubt.
come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's
Miami
the big
after
three
that,
right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing
And
into
then
these
it's
different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you think of that?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, let's say 20 years from now, he sits back and he wants to talk to Steph, he wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be three greats with him. I'm just talking about those three guys. He's playing with three other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with three other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
There's no lack of aggression on his part. When he's got the chance to score, he'll take it.
Count it. Good. Wall's got 23.
When Wall gets going, he's an unstoppable force. He's an offensive beast who can score in many ways.
Boston shooting only 31%. Their offense really struggling to put possessions together. And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, right? But this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with three other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Gortat with the steal. And it's Gortat finishing it off.
Always great to have a big man that can run the floor. Gortat looking determined to beat everyone down the court.
Irving with it. He's picked up by Wall. In the corner, Smart with it. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. That's 7 points for Marcus Smart.
And not his quarter, scoring-wise. Just 1 of 7 from the field.
Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
Brown dishes to Baines. The shot off that time.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Beal can't get it to go. Boston's gone 1 of 6 from three-point land in the second quarter. Less than 20%, but they've continued to let them fly. Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the Hacka Drummond, Hacka Shaq, all this stuff, Hacka DeAndre Jordan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Mm-hmm. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
And Brown drops them both. Kevin, some of the relatively new rules protecting players, the breakaway, the flagrant 1, the flagrant 2. Are you in favor of all this stuff?
I'm in favor for players.
Oh! Nice.
When you're open, Bill will find you outstanding at working the ball over to the open man.
And the Celtics with possession here. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev? I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. First one falls for him. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lifted every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to Bidu. Brian Dew, who was our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. It's good on the putback.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Boston shooting at a 32% clip from the field. They're just not executing. Now here's Tatum. D right on him. 1:43 left in the second quarter. Shot clock at 6. And on the way from Irving for 3. Drops in the tray. Irving's got 7 points for the quarter.
I like how Irving feels the defense out. He's sensing he has room to shoot and fire once he gets the rock.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Tatum with it. Now guarded by Porter. And Gortat over to help. Over to the left wing. Pass to Ojale for the 3. Offensive rebound. Horford. Comes up empty down low.
He loses concentration at the moment of truth and blows the layup.
Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. I'll tell you, Greg, there may not have been a more passionate player in this league than Kevin Garnett. What a treat to have him join us, huh?
Yeah, the energy he would bring night in and night out is similar to what he brought here tonight. You can hear it in his voice. Just he still has that excitement and passion for the game.
Morris, no good. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Irving for 3. Washington with the rebound. Gortat's got rebound number 12 here already in the game.
He hasn't been his best this quarter.
Good. Wall's got 26.
Boy, has he put his foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
Here's Tatum. Nice D from Porter. And so it's Washington holding an unbelievable lead as the quarter wraps up. Defensively, they have gotten after it, contesting every shot going up. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Bradley, a strong first half for you and the team. It looked like you guys really were ready to play. Was that something Coach emphasized?
Yeah, most definitely. We wanted to hit them first. We weren't going to check any temperatures, as he said, so we were not going to just let guys do what they want to do. We're going to come out and be the aggressor, and we did that.
Obviously have to maintain that in the second half. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a great half of basketball from John Wall. He ended up with 26 points, 4 steals, and 7 assists. In their previous game, he had a performance he said he wanted to put behind him quickly, and so far he's doing just that with the nice first half he had here. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Wizards.
Well, they just about ran their offense to perfection. They pounded the ball inside, and the entry feeds were on time and on the money. It was a clinic to watch. The second half is going to be no contest if they keep getting shots 8 feet and in.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
They were brick city, and it was painful to watch. Weak shooting starts to get contagious, and they were struggling all over the place. They got to work on getting more high-quality chances, more layups, fewer prayers.
So that'll do it for now as we send you courtside with Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew for the start of the second half.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. An exceptional performance from John Wall.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, and then it wasn't all dunks. I mean, they were squaring up with confidence, and that became contagious.
And Chris, usually the guys who score a lot of points get all the attention. But if you had to pick some who don't get a lot of credit for the way they fill it up, who would some of those names be?
That's tough. I think anytime you have a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, who's a big guy and one of the top leading 5 scorers in the league, I think he doesn't get enough credit for scoring. His teammate, Anthony Davis, probably because of his record and his team not winning as much, doesn't get enough credit. Kawhi Leonard, because he's quiet and unassuming, doesn't grab that credit. And then you got guys like Gordon Hayward, who's just coming onto the scene, Kemba Walker, who's exciting, and Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's a lot of guys that don't get enough credit. And you want to go to the West Coast and go back to point guards. Go to Damian Lillard, who felt he was snubbed as an all-star. But that's the great thing about this league. So many great players. You better play hard every night to get some credit, because if not, someone else is deserving to have their name up there just as well.
So on the floor for Washington, Porter and Morris are the forwards. The deadly duo of Wall and Beal are in the backcourt. And it's Gortat in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Porter with the steal. Here's Wall. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Wall's got 28.
I mean, you got to be honest, though. The transition defense just has been lacking.
Irving, the open look. Will not go. This is off the front iron. For Washington, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime.
Look at that. That's the exceptional leaping skills of Wall. When he's running to the cup, you know he's trying to ram it down.
And turnovers have been the issue for him.
You can see the coaches have gotten into him a little bit about this. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Picked by Horford. And Baines kicks to Brown. Horford sets a screen for Brown. Irving for 3. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 3 assists in the game. Here's Porter. That one falls through. It's his 6th make from the floor this game, now 6 for 10.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
Irving with it. He's picked up by Wall. And again, Washington running the court in transition. And the Wizards getting another bucket right there.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Poked away. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Irving. And here's a look now at the shot chart showing the field goals attempted locations for Smart.
Well, you have to think that he is going to look to go to the rim a little more often going forward because the three ball just hasn't been there. Sometimes it seems he's not getting his feet set or rushing his shooting motion, but either way, it just ain't falling.
Wall against Irving. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving.
Wall is creative at finding ways to get to the line. The D has to be more careful when it comes to guarding him. I mean, if you're talking about the elite passers in the game, John Wall has to be on that list. He's averaged a double-double with assists for several years running. He has vision and knows how to find teammates after defenses collapse on him.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Wall. And with Wall and his passing last season, Chris, he became the all-time franchise leader in assists for the Wizards.
And I believe that it was Wes Unsell's record that he broke. I mean, that's great company to be in. Those two had different ways to get their assists, but both great passers. You get the feeling Wall can still get better.
And so John Wall nails both of them. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. The Celtics have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Irving passes to Baines. Picked by Horford. Brown wide open. He fires. Bangs home the trifecta. Brown's got 12 in the game.
Their third three-pointer in a row. And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Shooting one.
Well, you look at Markieff Morris, and you see a player, Greg, who is finally meeting his potential.
And you know what? Give credit to Morris because he's fallen in line with the team and the staff here. I think he's always had the talent to be an impact player. It just took a structured situation for him to really flourish, and I think he's found a home here in Washington.
1 shot.
You know, they used to say Markieff Morris was once a locker room distraction, but he's found a home here. He seems more at peace with the situation. He's putting up solid numbers at the forward spot.
And Gortat over to help, and the foul called on Markieff Morris. That's his 4th foul of the contest.
4th foul of the game for him. He's starting to get into that danger zone.
Irving double team. Here's Horford. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got 4 assists in the game. You talk to Markieff.
Oh, come on. Did you see that? Did you see that? We all know Wall loves putting on a show. He has some ridiculous dunks up his sleeve.
Boston's gotten all 4 of the 3-point shots to go down since halftime. They're lighting it up here. The screen from Brown. There's the triple. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
12 straight points off of three-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
And that one's good by Porter.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Irving double team. They get a hand on it. Brown right side. His 3-pointers off the mark.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Here's Porter. Doesn't go for him. So the Celtics will take it the other way. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Wizards team.
They take on a team they knocked out of the playoffs last season in the conference semis.
No one near him. Uses the glass that time, and it's good. Porter's got 10 points in the quarter.
Oh, I like watching Porter fill it up from the mid-range, demonstrating a nice touch from the in-between area of the floor.
And Baines kicks to Brown. That's good from Horford on the assist by Brown. Horford's got 16.
It's his shooting that's kept them out of an even deeper hole here.
Gortat, and Baines pulls it down.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those two things that he possesses.
Irving against Wall. Irving can't get it to go.
Pretty high percentage look with the D playing off him. Just couldn't knock it down.
Well, that's why his size and length are so valuable. He altered the shot and collected the glass, all in a day's work.
Tatum with it, now guarded by Porter. Lets it go with a three. That doesn't go in either for Irving.
He'll be beating himself up if they can't come back because he is not carrying his weight at the offensive end.
And whether he's a great off-balance shooter or not, the lean is probably not the best option on that shot.
The shot's good. Brown making the play. Irving's got 23.
And you can just see his confidence is rising. Bucket after bucket from long range.
And another miss by Washington.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Well, I'd love to hear his explanation of Coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
Horford sets a screen for Brown. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in. And that's now 25 points for Kyrie Irving. Here's Wall. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. The Celtics have gone 8 of 13 on shot attempts to begin the second half. Tatum wide open. He fires one. And the Celtics hit again from deep.
And you can see the play calling this half. Another one from distance.
Well, that's because they made a concerted effort to get the shooters involved. Now they've built up the confidence.
It's Brown with the drive. Now the feed to Horford. Again, the Celtics good for two.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
Here's Gortat. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him two chances at the free throw line here.
A lot of players who are the age of Gortat would have started to slow down a bit. He's bucking that trend and continues to produce well. A very steady presence for his team in the paint.
Two shots.
First free throw is good. Chris with Gortat, as you mentioned, he's right up there in age, but he's still doing what he's done his whole career.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with just how efficient Gortat has been as a scorer his whole career. He knows exactly what he can do and can't do in the paint when he's facing up. He has a career field goal percentage that's around 55. I mean, that's very strong numbers for him.
So he gets them both.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Here's Rozier. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. And Gortat over to help. And there's the call on Marcin Gortat. That's foul number 2 for him. Ojale is checked in for the Celtics. Mahimi's checked in for Washington. Here's Rozier. They set the pick to the middle. Out of bounds. Washington takes possession.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Al Horford. This last month, he's been positively spectacular. 15th in blocks. And he's in the top 20 in assists per game. His talent for creating easy buckets for his teammates, such an asset.
And trying to muscle up shots against him is tough. His body type makes it supremely difficult. Just a dominant rim protector all season. To the wing on the left. Passes it to Rozier. Here's Ojale. No good from outside.
Another miss, and you have to wonder if this just isn't his night.
Stolen by Smart. Here's Ojale. Lets the three fly. Rebound, Washington. Scott's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Oubre. And finished off by Oubre.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He capped off that dunk with some serious hang time on the rim. Smart with the ball. 7 points in the game. Picked by Horford. Now here's Smart. He's guarded closely. Yabusele, he's checked in for Al Horford. Here's Satoransky. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Stolen. Now here's Smart. Defense is right there. Fires from 14. Washington with the rebound. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
Now the pass to Ojala. Boston again missing.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. Here's Mahimi. Tries yet again. Can't get the layup. And the Celtics shooting about 35% from the floor. Not much falling for them. Pass to Ojala. Back to Smart. Pass to Ojala. To the paint. 5 to shoot. Trying to get back on track. Here's Smart. That shot off, and it's Washington the other way. And after this game wraps up, they're off to Atlanta where they'll take on the Hawks. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip. Celtics shooting in the second half so far about 45%. Here's Rozier. Oubre with the steal. Here's Mahimi. And Mahimi with the stuff.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at both ends. Steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Well, Chris, you can't shortchange this roster. But their coach, Brad Stevens, one of the best in the game.
Well, you remember his 6 years at Butler? He took them to the title game twice. I mean, what he's done with this team is no less impressive.
And the shot no good, a bit short.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
Well, that just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result.
Dishes to Smart. There's the screen. Looking to get it going. And the layup is good. Smart's got 9.
And I love Smart pressing his advantage on the interior.
And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. And Chris, as your career progressed, your free throw shooting percentage jumped up about 20 points higher than when you started. That's not the case for a lot of players. Just how hard is it for a big man to improve their free throw shooting throughout their career?
Okay, that's probably one of the things I'm proudest of is that I have the record for going from worst to that best improvement, and I worked out hard. I had a shooting coach, Buzz. We worked out every summer. I would take him everywhere with me, Kev. I mean,
really?
I would take this guy to the club, to church, to a restaurant, he'd have to wait outside the bathroom. Everywhere I went that summer, I wanted him, with me because you have to focus and concentrate on it. You think about it, you have to change not only your mental habits, your repetition, but your thought process. So step 1 is figuring out that shot. Step 2 is how many repetitions. Step 3 is can you get that in game time atmosphere, and you really can't unless you punish yourself in the summer with running. So if you have to do a suicide every one you miss, or it just was so much work and intensity on it because you have to build up so much trust, because the reason why guys shoot bad free throws, they don't trust it. They shoot a different way every time, and it was fun becoming better at that. But that's probably one of the toughest things I've ever done was get better at shooting free throws because of the concentration and the time allowed it to try to improve.
Mahimi's shot is good.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Now, that's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
.119 left in the third quarter. Rozier, no good from outside. Washington shooting has been just fantastic, around 65% tonight, getting exactly what they want when they want it. Passes it to Ojala. Here's Yabusele. pushed away. And another fast break for Washington. Wizards running. And Mahinmi with the stuff.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
I mean, look, I was going to say you're attacking on both ends, quickly going from defense to offense.
Smart kicks to Rozier. Celtics passing it around. Oubre pulls it in. Wizards shooting it beautiful here in the third, 56% from the field. Baseline J on the way. Here's Mahinmi. In it goes for the 8th time in 10 tries.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Oubre with the steal. Meeks dishes to Mahinmi. Baseline try. Second chance shot. Meeks, good. Meeks got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
The pass to Ojale. And that time, also a missed shot.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Yeah, trying to recapture momentum. When the tide's running against you, very difficult to do. What do the young kids say today? Ride that wave.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. And so Meeks nails both of them. And so it's Washington, enjoying the kind of gigantic lead you almost never see. Their defense has been active and effective. And we'll be back with you shortly. And meanwhile, Coach Brad Stevens talking to his team.
Pace of play is a big part of tonight, okay? Make sure on the bench when we come back, we lift it. We lift it.
One of the team's great young teachers, Brad Stevens, wanting his guys to control the tempo.
Yeah, and he feels if they push it, if they attack intelligently, it's going to be to their advantage.
And we're getting underway here in the 4th quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. We've got Yabusele. Allen is out there with Shane Larkin, and it's Nader in at the 3 slot. That's the Boston 5. Satoransky grabs the miss. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And Satoransky, a player who was drafted back in 2012, but then stashed in Europe as he developed his game.
Oh, yeah, he's known for his strong work ethic, and it's a bit of a grinder for this team. He knew he had a lot of work ahead of him to adjust to the NBA. He's committed, though, to staying in the league. He's not thinking of returning to Europe.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one drops. And Chris, it's a players' league, and yet the officials, of course, have an impact on games. I'm thinking of a certain Game 6 back in 2002. In your opinion, How does the league ensure greater consistency with the officiating of games?
Well, I promised myself, Kevin, thanks for bringing up 2002, that I would never think about that aloud. You know, I'm going to have to go lay on somebody's couch after we do this game right here. But I think the league just has to be transparent. They have to let fans know when the ref has messed up. We're all human. So I think it comes into play when you aren't transparent, when you aren't honest with your fans, because we have the smartest fans of any sport, I believe. And so I think transparency is good, but human error is always going to be in there as long as it doesn't go back to the type of human error we saw in 2002.
But Chris, I do sense that is a goal of theirs, and bit by bit they're getting toward that goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I believe that our league has done some great jobs when it comes to advancing referees and how the game is officiated. When you look at, not only do we have the referee center back in New York, where the referees now can go and get help, and the game is faster, and also we have 3 refs on the floor, and so and we have the best conditioned refs, and so I think the game is just going to be better because we have passionate refs, we have passionate officials, and passionate players, and we're going to work together to make sure that this game is the best for every fan to be presented to, and also that every player has a chance to win a championship and don't have their heart broken.
Here's Larkin. And every player out there has a story about falling in love with the game. Chris, when did you fall in love with basketball, and what was it like playing basketball as a kid?
Wow, it's so hard to remember when you first fall in love with basketball. There's so many great moments and great stories that you hear, but probably playing on the playground and seeing all the guys laughing and hearing the music and hearing the guys say check up and next game and smelling the sweat and seeing guys play physical. That's probably what it was. And then being able to play at a great gym called St. Cecilia in Detroit and then watch all the other players that played before us come in, the Isaiahs, Magic Johnson, Spencer Haywood, Terry Durod. I mean, you get to watch these guys play. Derek Coleman, Steve Smith. I could go on all day. Mark Makins, Terry Mills. I could just keep going. It was so fun watching these guys play. So to me, I fell in love with it as a kid, but every instance, every memory that I have made me fall in love with it that much more. How can you not fall in love with the greatest game ever played?
Well said.
Well, one thing the Wizards have done a good job of is making use of the corner 3. It's the most efficient shot in the game. Wizards make sure they have that as an option on a lot of their sets.
Frazier, he's checked in for the Wizards. Scott hits them both. And if you look at the personnel of the Wizards, it makes sense that they get so much use out of the corner 3.
Well, not just because they have good shooting team from distance, but they have John Wall that breaks down the defense, attracts other defenders, which leaves wide open players for jump shots.
Here's Nader. Frazier covering. 4 on the clock. Nice shot by Yabusele.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Team ball. Great execution on offense. Everyone working together. You wish you could have that on every play.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's the screen. Here's Larkin. Pass to Nader. Shoots a 3. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. You look back on the last 5 off seasons or so, Chris, and there are usually huge names that change teams. LeBron, Durant, the first names that come to mind. As you went through the free agency process, how much of an influence did your agent or any sponsorships play in your role in that decision in picking your new team?
Yeah, I think every relationship with the player and their agent is different. For me, I wanted to go back to the place that I felt that was loyal to me. I wanted to go back to Sacramento because there had never been a small market team. I felt a really small market. team that won a championship. And I saw Karl Malone try for all of those years. I saw Stockton try for all those years. Reggie try for all those years. And so I really wanted to be one of the first to kind of bring that back to the city. So my agent, my shoe company, no one could have said anything to take me away from that. That was a personal mission that I want, and I knew what I was dealing with at that time. But I think for other guys it's different. Some guys, want more commercials. They like to be in a bigger market. Some guys don't want that, and they're happy at staying under the radar like a Tim Duncan as long as he's winning. So I think for every guy is different, and I really believe that you have to make that decision for yourself and your family first, because if you do that, then the fans wherever you go will be much happier because you want to be there. You're not just buying time there.
It's good.
Too many inches being given up in that matchup. I mean, he's got no chance of putting a stop to that layup.
Basket good. Mahimi's got 8 points here in this quarter.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
They set the screen. Here's Larkin. Frazier covering. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And the Celtics building a new 70,000 square foot practice facility. They'll call it the Auerbach Center.
Oh, yeah, very impressive. Set to open this spring. The Celtics, one of those forward-thinking organizations. I'm not surprised to see them investing in their player development.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And the first one at the line is good.
Well, when you look at this Washington team, the strength clearly lies in that backcourt. Wall and Beal, arguably the best backcourt in this league. They are the engine that motors this team with their scoring and playmaking.
And Washington making a change here. Porter's checked in. And he makes the first but misses the second. This Washington backcourt of Wall and Beal. Last season, Greg, they were able to both stay healthy, and Wizards fans finally saw just how potent they both could be.
And remember all those rumors how these two couldn't coexist? Well, they sure liked existing together last season. I mean, they really carried this group when it mattered, and both just explosive players who are not only leaders, but they're terrific two-way players for this franchise.
Nader grabs the board. The Celtics shooting a pedestrian 36% in the fourth quarter. The offense not doing their best work of late. And it's blocked by Scott. Here's Porter. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. Porter's got 14 points here in the second half.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
Launches a 3. Offensive rebound. That shot off. The Wizards shooting has been brilliant in this game, 67% from the floor. Here's Mahimi. Rebound, Boston.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
I'd love to hear his explanation of coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
The rebound by Yabusele. Yabusele's got his 3rd rebound tonight. Here's Nader. Scott pulls it in. Scott's got double-digit rebounds now in the game.
He's lost it in this quarter, no doubt about it. Nothing seems to be going for him.
Here's Larkin. He dishes it to Allen. Shot from 12. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Well, there have been some questions regarding the NBA's playoff format, Chris, if the division by conference is a good thing or if we should open it up to even more teams. Should we even have divisions? If you were going to change anything, what might you change in the playoff format in any way?
Well, I tell you this, I would not add more teams. Please. I mean, if you're going to add more teams to watch more bad teams, right. No. If you can't win almost 50% of your games, no way.
Agreed.
I did hear one thing that was kind of interesting is that what if you ranked the teams 1 through 16 in the playoffs so that, yes, I still believe in divisions.
Right.
Kev, because I want the season to matter. Divisions, championships, that matters for a fan base. Those type of things matter. So I want to keep those in there. But if you did 1 through 16 that way, so the final last two teams didn't have to play the best competition until the end, I just think that might be interesting. You never know what type of matchups you may have. But I think we've been having some great basketball in the last 15 years. So I don't know if necessarily we really need to change anything about the playoffs.
Interesting observations.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
Oh, wonderful anticipation. He reads the play perfectly, then with the quick reaction time.
Pass to Satoransky from deep. That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Here's Larkin. Allen outside. 5 on the clock. To halt the run. Washington with the rebound.
And that would have been a big 3 if he drained it, answering back for the triple at the other end.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. And there's the call. Foul on Boston.
Well, make no mistake, defense is the foundation for this Celtics team. That's their calling card.
Two shots.
First one falls for him. And Chris, when you defend like the Celtics, you've got a chance every night.
Yeah, because of execution and communication. That's half of it. The other half is the grit and toughness. I mean, you got to have both, and they do. But when their offense is clicking, they're just tough to beat.
Scott hits them both. Chris, you look at the league right now, how different would you say it is from when you played? And if there are a lot of differences, do you like the changes?
The NBA is much different from when I played. When I played, if you shot a jumper from the 15-foot range free throw line, they criticize you as a big fella. Now you have to be able to space the floor. If you were a big fella and led the break back then, they criticize you. Now you have a guy like Durant who is 6'11". So the game has changed from rules. It was so much more physical at the time. It was a slower pace. But, that was then. I love the way that the game is now. I love that players have more freedom. I love that the pace is faster. You don't have to look back at your coach to have a play called every time. The trust is put in these players' skill sets. And so I love it, man. Anytime you can see Harden go to work, Durant go to work, Curry go to work, Westbrook go to work, LeBron go to work, Irving go to work, and just watch them play in an open offense, man, it's a lot of fun. So, I like the changes, and it was fun when I played as well.
Here's Satoransky, and some very quick points for him on that possession.
As hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan is simple, folks. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Boom, he jams it straight down.
That's just tremendous, stupendous work from Rozier. He's just so good at zipping the ball over to his teammates.
Ball stolen. Brown with it, now guarded by Porter. Passes to Ojale. There's Brown with the 3. Washington with the rebound. Scott's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Fires from the wing. Rebound Boston. We've got 1:55 left to play in the final quarter. The pass to Ojale. The three-pointer no good.
Well, perhaps he believes that he'll be able to shoot himself out of this slump, but I don't see it. He needs to quit shooting those threes.
Here's Rozier. 1:29 left in the game. Allen, that's good.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Washington.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And so they'll stretch their victory total to 19 on the season.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
Pass to Ojale. Off target from three-point range.
Hard to tell if he's just lacking energy in the second half, but it does not look like he's himself out there.
46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Shot by Brown. It doesn't go for him. And the Wizards now going the other way. The drive by.
Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Right there.
Tremendous effort here on the road. That plane ride home is going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care how good you are. It's tough to succeed in a hostile environment. They're doing it in style. Well, the clear strength of this Wizard team is their backcourt. Wall and Bill, one of the best backcourts in the league. They are a driving force for this team.
And Wall and Beal certainly the focus of this Wizards offense. They've said they feel they are the best backcourt in the NBA. Some others might have that claim in reality, though.
well, they're supposed to feel that way, but I think the Splash Brothers might have something to say about that. But you like the confidence they have, though, and better than Wall and Bill not believing in themselves.
2 shots.
First free throw is good. And you look back to last season, the Wizards started slow, but something clicked for them halfway through the year, Chris, and they were able to turn things around.
Well, just with all the talk about how the Wizards should rebuild, it seems like they pulled it together. They took some time to get things right with the new coach, and the alleged strife on the team disappeared once they started winning.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Kelly Oubre comes in for Porter, and it's Jody Meeks in for Tim Frazier. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. Well, guys, what do you think?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
My guess is that they're just trying to avoid some monumental breakdown after having dominated up to this point.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Marcin Gortat.
And his focus, guys, has been laser sharp, and his touch from the field, flawless. The teammates have worked hard to get him the ball in some good positions, and boy, has he rewarded them with a spectacular shooting performance. Great call to keep running all those sets for him.
Well, he needed a game like this badly. He's been struggling for a while now, but tonight he broke out of that slump in style. .27 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. There's the pick. Brown kicks to Rozier. That's tipped. Six on the shot clock.
Shooting for Boston, Terry Rozier will be at the line shooting two.
He's off on the first.
Oh, the fearlessness by Rozier. That's what helps him earn the trip to the stripe.
No luck that time either. Here's Satoransky. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. That's on Jaylen Brown.
Taking 2 shots.
Two shots.
First free throw is good. He's perfect from the line this time. Here's Rozier. And so it's Washington easily grabbing this one. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks with John Wall. John, it sure looks like the chemistry is coming together. What is the bond like with your teammates?
We enjoy playing with each other. We have great chemistry. We all work hard and we know how much we mean to each other, how much we work every day, and we're just trying to keep getting better each game.
Well, the work is paying off, John. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Chris Webber, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.